Hey Dragon Slayers! Today's video is about the problem with fertility treatments for women. As you might have guessed, considering the various reproductive disorders insulin resistance causes, many resistant women end up seeking fertility treatments. Unfortunately, even here, insulin resistance insists to have its presence be noted. Before we talk about treatments, I want to acknowledge that insulin sensitivity has a direct positive effect on women's fertility, reducing insulin levels and improving insulin sensitivity, whether by weight loss or use of insulin-sensitizing drugs, increases natural ovulation in the absence of any fertility drug intervention. One of the most common therapies to improve female fertility is a treatment with clomiphene. I could be pronouncing this wrong. Clomiphene, which alters estrogen to induce ovulation. However, insulin resistant women with PCOS respond poorly to the drug and typically require higher doses, which can lead to negative side effects. In fact, measuring blood insulin in the women with PCOS is the most reliable indicator for predicting her responsiveness to the drug. The lower the insulin, the higher the response. If female fertility is a complicated orchestra of hormones, insulin is the conductor. Abnormal crescendos or decrescendos of fertility hormones throughout the menstrual cycle, including estrogens, FHAs, and LHs, are following the conductor. If a woman is able to get her insulin under control, often the fertility hormones will follow. And the most common forms of infertility, as just outlined in previous videos, are like a bad song, simply turned off. So, there are other complications to consider too. Not only do fertility drugs for women not affect the root cause, which oftentimes is insulin resistance, but there are a ton of risks associated with them. So, a few of the risks that I've noted are you can have pregnancy with multiples. So, oral medication carries a fairly low risk of multiples. It's around 10% and mostly a risk of twins. Your chances can increase up to 30% with injectable medication. Injectable fertility medications also carry the major risk of triplets or more. So, you guys have probably seen John and Kate plus 8. There is a 10% chance that you can have many multiples instead of just twins. Generally, the more fetuses that you're carrying, the greater risk of premature labor, low birth weight, and later developmental problems. Sometimes, if too many follicles develop, adjusting medications can lower the risk of multiples. You also have to be aware of ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, or OHSS. Injecting fertility drugs to induce ovulation can cause OHSS. Even though it's rare, there are signs and symptoms which include a swollen and painful ovaries. Usually they go away without treatment, and including mild abdominal pain, bloating, nausea, vomit, and diarrhea. So, it is possible to develop a more severe form of OHSS that can also cause rapid weight gain, enlarged, painful ovaries, fluid in the abdomen, and shortness of breath. The long term risk of ovarian tumors. Most studies of women using fertility drugs suggest that there are a few long term risks. However, the study suggests that women taking fertility drugs for 12 or more months without successful pregnancy might be at an increased risk of these ovarian tumors. So, everything you do in life comes with risk. it's just important to understand what those risks are. And I do believe that medication has a purpose, but I try to live a life without medication. You know, if you're very sick and dying, absolutely take the medication. But if you have time, I think doing natural approaches helps so much more. And there was a play that I watched a long time ago that I thought was really cool about it was like the medical field in general. And one of the doctors said to the patient, you know, oh, well, you were aware, you signed the paper, you knew the side effects. And the other doctor said, that's bullcrap. There's no such thing as side effects. There are only effects that we cannot sell. And I was like, wow, that's so profound. That has stuck with me for so long. And it's true. Like, I am more or less a naturalist, right? I try to do everything holistically without drugs, without intervention, because I believe that diet, exercise, sunlight, good food, good friends, these are all the things you need. And if you feel the way I do, you know, continue to watch the channel. And I want to try to help and empower you guys to live a life without debilitating disease and free of medicine. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And remember that together, you and I will slay the dreaded diabetes dragon.